Sorry, I mean, hi, I'm Jess, and today I'm going to show you how to make a protective face mask. Hey friends, welcome back to Redhead Threads. Today is a special episode where I'm going to show you how to make your own protective face mask. Before I get started, I wanted to say that this video is dedicated especially to my mom. She was an ER nurse for years, and now that they are testing for COVID-19 in tents outside of hospitals, she has willingly signed up for shifts to be one of those people on the front lines in the N95 mask, testing people for COVID-19. So shout out to you, Mom. Love you. You are my hero. I want to go over a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind if you decide to volunteer your time and your fabrics to make some of these masks for our doctors and nurses. Item number 1, please, please, please call ahead to your hospitals, nursing homes, or wherever you would like to donate these masks to. I know that in our local hospitals, at least, we are disbanding volunteer services for the time being, which means that we are shorthanded. The volunteers who would normally be sorting through these masks and making sure that they are sanitized and ready for our nurses and doctors to use aren't really on staff anymore. Please make sure to call ahead. Make sure that they are able to be used at your local hospital so that you're not pounding out 100 of these things from your fabric stash and then just dumping them at the local hospital. Item number 2, when you do call ahead, and if the hospital gives you specific guidelines for how they want their masks made, make sure that you follow the hospital's guidelines for how they want these made for your healthcare providers in your area. I've seen a couple of different ways to make these so far. You could also leave a slit in the top so they can insert their own filters. Some of them want more than just 2 layers. Follow their directions so they can actually be used and your donation will not be wasted. Point number 3, please remember these masks are not foolproof. If you choose to make them for yourself or your friends and family members, know that they are not going to fully prevent you from getting any kind of disease. But according to the CDC, they are better than nothing. Our healthcare providers are running very low on regulated masks right now, and so this is sort of a last resort, but it will help prevent at least droplets from escaping your nose and mouth or entering your nose and mouth should you be coughing and sneezing in the direction of others, or should you be coughed and sneezed upon. This project is really easy. It's something that you can make using stuff you probably already have lying around your stash. You'll need some fabric scraps that are at least 9 by 6, matching thread, a rotary cutter and ruler or a pair of scissors, and also some elastic. I'm using 1/4 inch today, but you could also use 1/8 inch elastic. If you don't have any elastic, you can make ties out of some other fabric scraps. But whatever fabric you use, do make sure it is 100% cotton, and then it has a nice tight weave. I'm going to be starting by cutting my fabric scraps down to 2 6 by 9 inch pieces. Mine's a little bit short on the 6 inch side, but I think I can make it work for this project. You want to put the 2 6 by 9 inch pieces right sides together. We're going to sew around the edge of this square, inserting our elastic as we go. And we're going to leave just a little slit at the top so that we can turn it when we're finished. I've decided to use 1/4 inch elastic for this project. It's what I happen to have on hand. And they recommend using 2 7 inch pieces. This is for the adult size mask. I've also seen different size for children to use as well. The elastic is just going to wrap up around the ears to hold the mask in place. With my fabric facing right sides together, I'm going to add the elastic just about a 1/2 inch in from the end, inside of the 2 layers. And I'm going to pin that all together. When the mask is flipped, the elastic will be on the outside. Make sure that the elastic is not twisted. Bring the other end around and pin it to the same place on the other side of the short end of your fabric. And we're going to repeat that process for the other side. Once you have the elastic pinned into place, finish pinning the rest of the way around the mask. But don't forget, we are going to leave a small opening at the top so that we can turn it. Now it's ready to sew. I'm going to start sewing along the top edge of one of the long sides, leaving a gap so that we can turn the mask. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam for my mask. When I have about 1.5 inch gap left, I'm going to stop sewing, trim my threads, and trim the corners so it makes it easier to turn. At this point, you can even use the elastic to finish turning it and get the edges clear. So we have a basic rectangle shape at this point, but we're going to do a little more work to it to make it even more fitted. We're going to add a couple of pleats to the short ends of the mask to sort of bring it together, and that will give it a closer seal to the face. So if you've never done pleats before, you're just going to fold it over on itself just a little bit and pin that into place. And fold it over one more time. So now the edge is roughly 3 inches long on the short end. We're also going to add pleats to the other side. Make sure that your pleats are facing the same direction and are roughly the same size. I'm now going to top stitch around the edge of the mask twice. That will give it a really strong hold and also help keep the pleats in place. I would also highly recommend using a jeans needle or universal needle for your sewing for this mask, because at some points you are going to be sewing through a lot of layers of fabric, and having that extra sharp point will just help not break your needle. And that's really all there is to it, folks. Now you can go and make your own. And in case no one has told you lately, wash your hands!